Hi, this is Gary McDonald, and I thought I'd make a short video on a topic that has come up for me over the last few weeks. A few weeks ago I had a problem with one of my road cases that I needed to fix, and I did some hunting around and I couldn't really find any information or helpful information on how to fix it, because what happened was during a gig I had to do, after I set the drums up on stage, I had to put the road cases in the car, and then when that happened, when the tailgate got shut, the clip on one of the cases, which is plastic, shattered because the tailgate slammed down on top of it. So I'll show you what I mean. So the cases that I use are by HARDCASE. Okay, they're a really hard plastic case. They're road cases. They're really good. And what happened for me was, and this happened on my bass drum case. I wasn't going to get my bass drum out and everything to sort of demonstrate this, so I thought I'd use a 10-inch tom case instead. So this clip here, okay, the one with the 3 prongs on it, okay, these 3 prongs got snapped off by the tailgate when it slammed on it. Okay. Now my initial thought was I'd just go to a hardware store and get a new clip and just, you know, cut the strap and then put the new clip on. Turns out it's not that simple. So I went to the hardware store and very quickly found out that these clips have different widths. Okay, so the width across here, okay, is different, and the straps are all different lengths, and even if you can find the right clip, it may not fit the old clip here. So I spent about 45 minutes to an hour running around the hardware store trying to figure out what I might be able to retrofit, and then I had to think about how to secure it, because I was thinking, well, it looks like a rivet, but it might not be. It might be some sort of specialist press that they do in the factory or something. So I wasn't quite sure how the actual strap was fastened to the actual case itself. So, not wanting to completely stuff it all up, I thought, all right, I'll do a bit more research on this before I actually go and try and drill holes in things and fix things. And I jumped on the HARDCASE website, and it turns out I should have done that in the first place because they make kits. Okay, so I found that there was a local retailer here in Australia that had them sitting on the shelf, which is pretty rare. Most shops don't stock the spare parts for them. So it's HARDCASE, and I got the kit 4, which is the strap and the buckle, and it also comes with, and this is the part that I was worried most about, is it comes with the rivets and the recessed washer, okay, which holds each half of them on. So you'll get 2 rivets and 2 recessed washers. Alright, so you're going to need a couple of tools. You're going to need a drill and a 5mm drill bit. I don't know what that is in Imperial, you'll have to figure it out. So 5mm worked really well for me. You might be able to go as small as 4.5, although the rivet would be a tight fit, and if you went up to like a 5.5, 6, the rivet will rattle around a bit. So if you can, use a 5mm bit. A little battery powered drill is perfect. It's nice and portable. You can move it around to get into the little tight spots that you need. The other thing you're going to need is what I've heard referred to as a rivet gun or a rivet press. Now the way that these work, if you've never used them, is the rivet has a stem on it, this bit here, and that part fits into here, the end of the rivet gun or the rivet press, and you've got, in this case, 4 different nozzles. We'll call them a nozzle for this video, and it fits in like that. Okay, and the concept is that when you squeeze the handles together, the little domey bead on the end of the actual rivet gets pulled down and compresses this aluminium tube, and then eventually the stem pops off and it holds it in place. And the little stem if you're anything like me, will either fall out of the end and fall on the ground, or it might just stay in there and you've got to tap it out. All right, so that's how the rivet gun works. Pretty simple. You can look it up if you need more information on that. So the process for fitting them is pretty simple as well. It's just a little fiddly. So what you'll do is you'll have to undo the case, and you want to have a look on the inside of the case. And if you have a look here, I don't know if you'll see it, but right there, that is the top part of the rivet. So the aluminium stem of the rivet would come out this way. Right? There's the rivet. So it'll come in looking, I don't know if you can see that, my hands are probably in the way, but the stem of the rivet there will face in towards the case. Okay, and then when you pop the rivet out, it'll leave this flat surface here with a little hole there. All right, on the outside of the case, what you're looking at here is the recessed washer, okay, that is put flush like that, okay, and it's what holds the strap on. So you've got the rivet coming through from the inside, and then when you compress the rivet, it squeezes and holds the washer and the strap on. So the strap you'll put the strap on like that, okay, and then you'll put the washer on, and after it's compressed, that'll hold on. Okay, so you want to drill it out from the inside, okay? Don't drill it out from this side, okay? The drill bit will just slide around on the dome and cause all sorts of problems for you, and you'll just mess it up, or it'll just be really hard to do. So you want to put the drill bit into the little hole and then just drill through. If you've got a sharp drill bit, 10 seconds max, okay? And then that old strap will just come off, okay? And then you want to put the strap on the outside, the washer over the top of that, and then you put the rivet gun on the inside. So that's the inside of the case. You put the rivet in that way, and then squeeze the handles together, and then after 3 or 4 squeezes, the rivet will pop off, and it will actually look exactly the same as what's pre-installed on there when you buy them. All right. It can be a little bit deceptive when you first look at it, because you're kind of thinking, okay, is that like is it a rivet? Is it a specialist thing that they do in the factory? Who knows when you first sort of look at it, but it is just simply a rivet and a recessed washer holding it on. All right. Couple of things to just be aware of. The bass drum cases, or the old bass drum cases, come with a slightly thicker strap and slightly thicker clip. The newer ones, which are the ones I've been demonstrating on here on this 10-inch case, are black. Okay, I believe that's a 30mm clip, okay, and strap, so that should be 30mm, and the clip should be a 30mm clip to go with that. However, this snare drum case here actually came with the bass drum case that I've got over there, and it's a smaller strap, thinner strap, so it's probably about 2 centimeters or 20mm, and it's a slightly smaller clip as well. So the clip on the bass drum, on the old bass drum case, is a different size to the tom cases and the strap on the snare drum case. So the yellow strapping is different. And then you've got the black strapping, which comes on the newer cases. What I'm assuming has happened is at some point HARDCASE have changed the types of straps and clips that they use for whatever reason. They've probably gone with a universal size on every case, as opposed to having some cases that have a thick strap and some cases that have a thin strap. So, so the most important thing you need to know about this is that you can get spare parts from HARDCASE, and if you know how to use a rivet gun and a drill, you can retrofit or refit spare parts. Their spare parts selection is pretty thorough, so you can get straps, clips, handles, axles for things that have wheels, all that sort of stuff. So they're pretty good with their spare parts. So yeah, hopefully this helps somebody. Good luck with it.